Still in quarantine, I'm Richard Rellis here with columnist Bob Robb, and it looks like, unless 2020 really throws us a curveball, either Trump or Biden will be president in 2021, and we're talking about their COVID plans. And Bob, it sounds like your preference is a time machine into like 2023.
Well, that's a tough choice. I do believe that the critical difference between the two candidates is how quickly they would be willing to shut down the economy, how quickly they're willing to open it up. Biden pledges to do more on personal protection equipment, on testing, on helping people cope with the coronavirus. But he seems to be stuck in a time warp. Those were all relevant things in 2020. We're pretty well putting our foot to the pushing the pedal to the floor on those things now. And so to me, the big difference is what are they willing to do with the economy and who they think should make those decisions.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're saying, I mean, it's almost true to form. I mean, Biden is talking about a federal overarching approach, and Trump is seemingly wanting states to reopen. But as you point out, Trump is also one that's not quite the most stable messenger for what we should do.
Well, I think that's the most telling criticism and the fairest criticism of his management and leadership of COVID-19, and Biden wants to make it a referendum on that. And that's fair. I believe there's other points of valid criticism of the way that Trump has managed COVID. That one, I think, is the most telling and the most important. But if COVID is going to be the issue, we should also have a focus on the future. And here, I think it's the difference in approach to the economy that's most telling. Trump has kind of backed into a decentralized approach in which this decision is made by governors, and it may be different from state to state and depending upon the circumstances. Biden talks about making all of those decisions at the national level, and he has said that he's willing to shut down the economy again. I believe there's a growing consensus that until we have a vaccine, the best way to manage the disease is to heighten protections for the vulnerable populations and leave the rest of us a little freer to assess the risk and make the decisions that we think are appropriate. Trump sort of falls into that category by default rather than design, whereas it seems to me that Biden wants to turn the clock back to March of 2020 and redo everything all over again. And I do believe that as voters consider this issue, they should be forward-looking, not just backward-looking.
Yeah, and I guess as we look at risk assessment, I'm even thinking of these videos. When will we think it's worth putting our public health at risk to be in the same space? But that's a question for another time.
That captures it well.